The word troll has meant a lot of different things over the years. If you look it up in the dictionary, you'll find everything from mythological creatures living under bridges or in the caves of Middle-earth to some form of fishing. But in the internet age, the word troll has developed to mean something very different, and a lot of us are a little bit unsure of exactly what the definitions of a troll are. When does somebody actually become a troll? And even more importantly, many of us are confused as to how to actually deal with trolls when we confront them. Hopefully, this video will help us answer a few of those questions. After much careful consideration, I have determined that there are, speaking very broadly, 3 categories or stages of troll. The first of these categories is the prankster or the trickster troll. Tricksters can be found in the mythologies of almost every culture. It's an archetype that has permeated throughout human history. One of the greatest examples of trolling tricksterhood is the classic Rickroll, or its predecessor, the Duckroll. Somebody sends you a link and they lead you to believe it is one thing, but they subvert your expectations and actually it's just a picture of a duck or a video of Rick Astley singing a song. Now once this kind of trolling is over, you know that it's over. You realize that somebody was just trolling you, it was a prank, and you can laugh at it. But sometimes the troll does not lead you to click on a link to some Rick Astley video, sometimes they lead you to engage in an argument. Because much of the internet is text-based, it is natural that the troll will eventually start using words to trick people. This can quickly devolve into something very different, into a kind of troll I'm going to call the argumentative troll. The argumentative troll acts as a kind of devil's advocate. They argue for things that they don't actually believe in. This argumentative troll wants to argue for the sake of argument. The goal of the argumentative troll is not necessarily to hurt or insult you. The goal of the argumentative troll is to lure you into engaging in an argument under the false assumption that the troll is actually being serious. Often argumentative trolls will deliberately seek out people with very strongly held beliefs so that they can take up a position against them more easily. But sometimes, as it often does in the real world, argument devolves into senseless name-calling. And the troll does not just want to engage in an argument, but the troll really does want to hurt somebody. They want to make you angry. This is the rock bottom of trollhood, the final stage of troll development when they become the sadist troll. The sadist troll is just that, a sadist. They get some kind of perverse pleasure from giving other people pain. They will not just argue with you, but they will hurl insults at you. They will say every horrible, racist, sexist, and violent thing to you until they offend you. This is no fun and games troll, and there is no real way to engage with this troll on their level. Now, having identified these 3 types of trolls, we have to ask, how do you deal with them? Well, with the first kind of troll, the trickster, there's not really much to be dealt with. They play a prank, the prank is over, you know that it was a prank, and you can laugh at it at the end. The trickster trolls are often people that you know. They're pranking somebody individually through an email or on Facebook, or sometimes a large audience through, YouTube or a blog or something. The only time that this becomes a problem is if, like with real-world pranksters, the prank just goes too far, or there are so many of them that they stop being funny, at which point you can just tell the troll, look, that wasn't really funny, it didn't work this time. Now with argumentative trolls, it's a little more interesting and somewhat more difficult. It can be very, very hard when you notice people arguing on the internet to determine whether or not somebody is trolling or if they're just stupid and bad at arguing. If you believe that you're dealing with somebody who genuinely believes what they're saying, but they're just bad at arguing it, then you just leave. They're not trolling, they're just not worth arguing with because you throw reason at them and they throw it out the window. But if you believe that you are arguing with a troll, with somebody who is just arguing something that they don't even believe just for the sake of it, then you could walk away, or you could just keep engaging in the argument with them. I mean, once you realize that they don't actually care what they're arguing about, their argument ceases to have any emotional effect on you, and you can really just argue with them on their level. You can have a ridiculous argument, an argument for the sake of arguing, and kind of have fun with it. But you have to be careful, because, as stated before, arguments can devolve into senseless name-calling, at which point your troll might become a sadist troll. Now, in order to properly deal with the sadist, we have to understand a little bit more about the sadist. Sadistic trolling is not a case of personal harassment or cyberbullying. It is not a person who knows you personally and has some personal vendetta against you. No, the troll is sitting under their proverbial bridge, casting out lines, trying to get fish to bite their bait. The old line works well. Don't feed the troll. Don't let the troll feast on your metaphorical fishy flesh. If you don't give them a nibble, they will cast their line out to some other fish. They just want to get a rise out of somebody. They don't care who it is, and if you show them that you won't get angry at them and you won't get upset, they won't bother with you because they know they can get that from someone else. So the conclusion is, generally, if you ignore a troll, they will probably go away. But if you want to engage with a troll, if you really feel like you have to, if you're that headstrong, then you have to do it the right way. You can't ever show a troll that you're angry at them or upset by them. In fact, if you find that you are at all personally affected by what a troll says, do not bother engaging with them, because you are going to reveal that to them and they are going to win. In fact, they've already won. What you have to do is detach yourself from what they're saying to you. You have to honestly not care about what they're saying to you. And at that point, the only reason to continue engaging with them is not to defend yourself. It's to help them. The only true motivation that you should have for engaging with a sadist troll is sympathy. I think it's mostly true that people generally don't act horrible toward the world unless the world has been particularly horrible toward them. A sadistic creep on the internet might have a history of abuse. They might come from some impoverished, unprivileged background. As is so often the case on the internet, that person is anonymous. They could be any age, they could come from any kind of background, they could have any kind of disability or ability. You have absolutely no idea. So give a troll the benefit of the doubt and assume that they have very good reasons for acting out the way they do, even though the way they're acting is very wrong. If you're going to show a troll anything, show them love and sympathy and kindness. Tell them that you understand. Tell them that they don't need to act this way. Tell them that you know what it feels like. And maybe there's a small chance that they'll just get more angry and bring their troll friends to, harass you on other places in the internet until you have to change your identity. But maybe, just maybe, you'll get through to them. Maybe you'll break that cycle of horribleness and cause them to realize that they don't need to act this way, that the world isn't as awful as they thought it was, that they have another chance at being a better internet citizen. Maybe they'll realize that there's no point to continue trolling you because they were trying to get you angry and it obviously didn't work. Maybe they'll also freak the heck out and they'll realize that you didn't react the way they expected you to, because people just aren't as awful as they thought they were. That people can be better, and that trolls can be better too.
This is the song that I play at the end of the video. Yeah.